Today I'm going to be showing you how you can give your kid a Spider-Man inspired haircut at home. This is a haircut that we have done many times throughout the last year or so, and I'm not kidding you, we cannot leave the house without him getting compliments on this haircut. I love it because I feel like it's a compliment on my artwork. He usually gives an eye roll. Okay, so first I'm going to go over all the supplies that I'm going to be using for this haircut.
A snap-up hair cape from Amazon, hair clippers, and I use an 1/8 of an inch comb on the end, hair clips to keep hair out of the way, comb with a long tooth on the end, spray bottle of water, a straight razor, extra blades, and an iPad to keep little minds busy. Okay, the first thing I do is I wet his hair. I always make sure that I put warm water in the spray bottle, just for a comfort factor so that he's not getting cold and thus not sitting as well. So what I do is I use the long tooth on the comb to part the hair. And what I'm doing is I'm creating a U shape around his head and clipping the hair out of the way. It's growing out a little bit from a mistake in the U shape, so I'm just trying to make sure all those little hairs are going in the right direction. I like to keep the top of his hair longer than the sides, which is why I'm doing this. You can kind of see the remnants of the spider web symbol that is there from before. I cut his hair about every 2 weeks because it starts to grow out. So I take the 1/8 of an inch comb to his head, and it works kind of like an eraser because every 2 weeks his hair grows about an 1/8 of an inch. So what I'm doing here is cutting the hair on the sides all down to the same length. He has a dip in the back of his skull, which makes cutting the back of his head very, very difficult. So I kind of just have to pull the skin there and focus a lot. And then I just brush the hair off. There's me trying to get that spot on the back of his head. Now, this straight razor we got on Amazon, and you can buy a box of 100 blades for, I don't know, between $5 and $8. So I always put a fresh blade in before I cut his hair just to make sure it's super sharp and I don't accidentally cut him with a dull blade. So when you use these straight razors, you want to make sure that you hold the skin very tight. As you can see, I'm using my thumb and my index finger to pull the skin tight. And you can see that I have the straight razor, like the thing opened up, and I'm holding, the way that I'm holding it is the proper way to hold it. And I hold the razor at about a 30-degree angle to the head. You don't want to have it perfectly lined up with the head, but you also don't want to have it like a 45-degree angle because then you're more likely to cut his head. So the first thing I did is right along the part, I shaved it bald, and then I did a vertical line to kind of frame in where the web was going to be. I do 4 lines. So there's the right angle and then 2 lines that come down in between that. And then I just make sure that I get all those hairs right around his ear, nice and trimmed. For the rounded part of the webs, like the part that's connecting them here, you really could do a U shape or an inverted U shape as I'm doing here. When I cut these, I use the tip of the blade more than the actual, the rest of the blade. And I think in my mind about making a V. So I do half of it, you can see right here. just getting some more water. I go up, I do half the V, and then I do the rest. And because I'm pulling his skin, it kind of creates that rounded look to make it look like a spider web. And on this part, I got a little bit closer to his ear than I normally do. Normally there's a bit of a space, and so I didn't like that bit of hair there, so I just went ahead and took all of that off around his ear, but then I noticed, oh, it looks a little funny, so I just kind of faded it into the bottom.
Okay, so that is how you do your Spider-Man inspired haircut at home. All I did afterward is I washed his hair and I moisturized it with Just For Me Natural Hair Milk Curl Smoother, which I'll link in the description box below. And then I used an air dry cream by Monate, and we blow dried it with a diffuser to emphasize his natural curl. And that is the Spider-Man haircut. So I encourage you, go ahead and try it, and don't be afraid with the straight razor, because as long as they got something to keep their mind focused and stay pretty still, it's not so scary. And if you're too nervous to try it, or you don't have the supplies and you still want the Spider-Man haircut, show a picture to your local barber and I'm sure they can do it. Thank you for joining us today, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you haven't subscribed to our channel already, I encourage you to like this video if you enjoyed the material, and subscribe for more. Can you say bye?
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming.